tub. That's what's fucked up. So I gotta go take it out and pressure wash it. It was a brand new fucking tub that was sitting outside. Somebody dumped it here. And so I told Chuck, I said, bring it in, and somebody broke it in and took a shit in it.
Should have put a little bleach in there, dude. Pressure wash that shit. This is a rental, dude.
So this is the back corner unit. Same thing. Gotta take and cut out the sheetrock.
Who the fuck did that?
Oh, they do that to all of them. They're just fucking assholes. So.
Y'all gonna infect me? Fuck y'all.
It's all in the budget.
Okay, so
So you come in the back door here.
this is a bank-owned property too?
Huh?
This is a bank-owned?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, this is a classic example. Bank-owned.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, same thing. Got stairs.
This is what they mean when the tenants got mad.
And then that's the other unit. Well, this was a flood house, so
Oh.
they just cut the sheetrock out.
Yeah.
But it's not even-
probably up to him.
It's not even tenants, it's just people squatting and getting in and
Yeah.
fucking shit up.
Smoking crack pipes. That's not right there. That's some shit.
I'm surprised we cleaned it out pretty good. But here, I'll show you where. This is where we get all the plumbing. So see, while I was here, I went ahead and plumbed in this bathroom too.
Shark life.
Okay, you were curious about the plumbing?
Yeah.
So this is the hot for this unit. This is the cold for, this is the cold for this unit. This is the hot for that unit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what these are? These little stubs, why I come up and cap it. Any guess?
For loud
Instead of-
pressure.
Instead of just having an elbow. It's the pipes will rattle because when you turn the water on and the water's coming
That
and you turn
pressure.
it off,
Yeah.
it clang.
Mm-hmm.
And so what it does is when the water fills up, it'll just go to right here and this will be air. So when you turn it off, it goes like this, like a shock absorber.
Tight,
gotcha.
tight.
That's what you're supposed to do it by code. And this is all the code. This is a vent pipe right here. No water should be traveling down this.
Dang, look at this wallpaper. So this was sitting there
Otherwise-
for a while.
Otherwise, this would be a wet vent. So you have to have a vent within 4 feet. The vent is, if you just had this going straight down and that was capped,
Mm-hmm.
then the water wouldn't go down. It would sit there and suck all the water out of here. Because water can't just go out and then it doesn't just stop. Air has to go in behind it. So this is where the air goes in behind it. As the water's draining, the air is going to let it go faster. So this goes right up to the roof.
Nice.
That's plumbing 101. You have to have a vent within 4 feet of a fixture. And so you're meeting code there and you're meeting code there because you're within 4 feet. So if I had a bathroom over there, I would have to put a whole nother vent in because that'd be too far away.
And so the vent coming out here from the bottom of it is routed through from the side of the house?
No, it goes right through here and down, but the air travels down, allowing it to break that water seal. You know, you take
Saying
a
for the
straw.
water to come through.
Oh, the water
The
goes
water.
into the concrete, yes.
Okay.
And then I'll put an angle stop on once I sheetrock it. Put an angle stop on, and then you'll have your leads that go up to your sink.
And you have like them tubes, like the red and the blue tube, like for your hot and your cold.
No, this is copper, so I won't have that.
Oh, okay.
You can use white. You don't have to use red and blue with PEX, the plastic PEX. You don't have to. But anyway, so then when I'm in here, I did the kitchen on this side.
This is wild. So what you saying you just ripped all of this from the bottom?
Hmm?
You just ripped all of this from the bottom to see all of this?
I
That's what you
didn't.
saying?
It was
You
right
didn't?
done. I haven't done anything over here other than some
Man, this looks crazy.
no, that's pretty typical.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
Yeah, usually you have a plate that goes on it. Probably one's over here somewhere.
Yeah, that do. No.
There's usually a plate sitting over it that covers the bare wires. Anyway, but all the kitchen's ready to go. So whatever I spent over there, I got him to give me a discount. 'cause I told them I'm gonna order 4 identical. Well, 2 identical and 2 identical that are mirrored. Anyway, and then there's the entry for there. Have somebody come over. That's not part of my budget. The HVAC. That'll cost me an additional $5,000 per unit. Maybe those 4,500.
Oh yeah.
So I'll be into it probably close to 80.
Yep.
But anyway, that's it.
Damn.
I'm gonna head back over. I don't want to spend too much time over here until we get this cleared out.
Yeah, that's expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Like HVAC, that shit is expensive.
Not bad. It's confident out on Zillow. Zillow reset and said it's $379. $379,000 fixed up. And I'll only be into it 130-ish.
Basically 400,000.
So I mean, it'd be like 250 profit if I sold it. It's gonna take me a long time to get 130 back, but not too bad. If I get 3 to 30, 600. If I get on Section 8, I get 900 a unit. So that's my goal. But if I get 750 a unit, that's still $3,000 total.
Yeah. Yeah, you be milking the hell out of it. Me, I'm young. I'm thinking like, okay, I just want my shit now, so I'll just flip it to somebody that's gonna finance and buy it. Right then and there.
So if you do that, then you take 250. You got to instantly pay the IRS 125. So then you made 125,000.
Instead of holding it for how long?
You got to live in it. You got to make 1 unit yours. If you make 1 unit yours for 2 years,
For 2 years?
you can sell it.
Again.
You
Gotcha.
won't have capital gain.
Hmm?
You'll have 0 tax.
Yeah, 0 tax. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you
That's
said
what
take
they call it,
capital gain.
tax.
There's a difference.
Like that's the.
Yeah, you won't have the capital gain though. You won't have a capital gain or income. If you don't live in it, you're gonna have income tax. It's gonna be a flip. It's gonna be like damn near 50%.
Yeah.
So you're gonna pay if you made 250, you're gonna really only get 125 because at the end of the year you're gonna pay the tax man 125. If you don't live in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what they call like in real estate school they call it capital gain tax. That's when you live in it for like 2 to 3 years and you sell it off and you don't
Well,
get
capital
taxed.
gains works like an investment property. If it's passive income, then I pay capital gains. So on the rental side, I'll pay like 15 to 24% if I just rent it out. But I get so many write-offs. I get to write off all my materials, labor, everything I put into it. I get to take the value of the property, not the land. So if I paid 50 grand and I say, well, the structure's worth 40 and the land was 10, I got to take that 40,000 that I paid for the land, the structure part, plus the 80,000 I put into it. There's 120. I get to divide that over 27 and a half years. So take 120 and divide by 27 and a half, right? If you took 120 divided by 3, that'd be 44,000 a year, roughly. So I get to make $4,000 a year without even paying any taxes on it.
Okay, that's worth it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm making $3,000 a month, I'm getting 36,000 a year. I don't pay tax on the property. I'll pay the property tax. I get to write that off. That's like 2,400. So in 1 month's rent goes to the property taxes, and so I basically gonna pocket somewhere around after tax, like probably 25,000 a year. I'll pocket like 25 grand a year, and I got 130,000 into it. So
Yeah, that's worth it.
Yeah, that's what
yeah, figure 5 years, I got my money back.
Mm-hmm.
shit. That ain't bad.
Hell yeah.
Then I can convert it if I ever want to sell it. I convert it to one of them to a living space. You can only do that on a fourplex. On its 5, it's commercial and it no longer qualifies.
Yeah.
But on a fourplex, you can still call 1 unit your residence and sell it as your primary residence.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, if I ever did want to sell it, I can sit there and get all my money back.
Shit.
Be making profit, and then I'm like, you know what? Let's just turn it loose. And by then, if it's worth $450, 10 years down the road,
Mm-hmm.
take and sell it. I don't have a mortgage on it. It's $450 that all goes in my pocket, tax free. Well, right now it's only $250. You can only do up to $250. If it was the wife and I living here, then I would be able to keep $500 tax free.
500,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$250 per person.
250.
Yeah, yeah,
500,000.
yeah.
But
Okay.
in the real grand scheme of things, what I would try to do is, like if I was gonna get like say 500 for it, 10 years down the road and it's worth that, I would take and write off what I put into it, pay my recapture, because they want to recapture their capital gains they didn't get from me renting it. Pay all that. By the time all's said and done, I would go and tell somebody, okay, look, you're an investor, give me 120, slide me 125 under the table, and I'll sell it to you for I'll sell it to you for 25,000 less. Give you $25,000 discount. You slide me you slide me 125 under the table. You know what I mean? And then that way, I would still make the 250 that the IRS says, and I only pay 25,000 in tax instead of 50 or 60.
Little loophole you have to make.
Yeah, and then I just write the contract for what I need to make it come out, to where I don't pay any tax on it. And then in a perfect world, she has her own residence. I have one, she has one.
Yeah.
And then every 2 years you could make 250 apiece, 500,000 every 2 years between the two of you.
Shit.
Just saying.
Shit. That's wild.
Anyway, these are all the kitchen cabinets here.